Katana here for Team Dignitas at MLG Dallas with Complexity's top laner, Nickwu. So you just won against Bogan. It's your second win of the weekend. You've got one more game coming up. Can you tell me a little bit about what you were feeling with that comp that you were running last game?
What we were feeling with that comp was that we would poke and have some disengage with Caitlyn mid, putting a lot of pressure in middle, and then I would be able to have a favorable or decent matchup versus Shen, and perhaps maybe split against them because Shen's normally don't itemize for MR. It's hard to itemize MR, so that was one thing. Or just having a rumble on the team, especially I'm kind of comfortable with the character. I've been practicing it. That kind of just helped our overall comp because his ult is broken basically, and he does tons of damage and all that stuff. So the comp was actually like Rumble was just a comfort thing. I don't think Rumble actually, we thought Rumble was perfect for the comp. It was just something that I could play and I could have a favorable matchup because they banned Elise and banned Zed. And Jace wouldn't have worked because we didn't want to run a poke. So we needed to run something with maybe hard engages. With Mumu, we would have Rumble ult. For disengage, I could put it down backwards and we could kind of kite backwards in with Caitlyn and Super on Kha'Zix. He would just be shooting out the spikes and stuff, and then we could kite backwards with that, and then go in when we needed to.
And this is essentially the first time we've really seen Caitlyn out of brunch, and obviously Super has been playing Kha'Zix and sort of took a break and then came back really strong yesterday in the game against Dignitas, so that was a strong pick. How do you feel that Caitlyn stands as a champion right now? I mean, obviously brunch got really firm with her. By the end of the game, we had over 300 CS and had a ton of items and really just outscaled bars. How did she fit in with that?
I think Caitlyn fit in very well because there's no other character like Caitlyn that when you put him in the 2v1 middle, that puts out as much pressure as Caitlyn. Maybe versus maybe is a close second. I don't know much about the AD support synergy as much as brunch would, but from what I'm told, is just Caitlyn just puts out pressure like no other. One thing, and then she makes sieging easier with her base range. She can actually go up and hit towers more likely than other characters. Say like Varus, his range is shorter. He doesn't have a net to escape. He can't put traps for a little bit of zoning and etc. So she has high sieging potential, and she has a pretty damn good late game. So eventually, if we get there, we could probably just win with just the high siege, high poke, and the disengage with which is generally what our comp is about, and some catch with Thresh.
So you guys were obviously pushing for that late game. It was really back and forth all throughout. Like you said, Caitlyn great in the late game. And I think it really seemed to come down to objective controls and when to push. And we had this sort of base race and not a base race. And what was the decision-making process like?
The decision-making process was like, well, overall, we would just try to get as many towers as we could. We always looking for opportunities to push. We traded an inhibitor for a Baron, and we ended up stalling it, so they didn't even use Baron, and it became favorable for us that we had to nip her down. And they didn't even use Baron to do anything with it. And towards the end of the game, when there was 3 bottom, and I ran over there and got caught, the idea was I was just going to stop them from backing while they all push it in. But what happened was that I got caught, and then they needed to back. And then, they backed, they killed everybody because their 4v, I think it was 4v4. Or maybe 4v3 was stronger, obviously, they have numbers. The brunch was strong as hell. Like, everybody was late game, everybody was strong. And then, from there, we had about a minute, and then we just went over there and took the Nexus. As far as in general, just the game in general, we were just very focused on towers and dragons. The normal stuff in the other game, like we're pressuring like a lane. Maybe your jungler's gonna come up here. Maybe you guys can take dragon at bottom, stuff like that. I don't even know what happened in that game, but just generally, like, I don't think we're any different when it comes to objective control as other teams. We're not as refined as other teams. I know that our objective control is a little sloppy. I believe Bulky got 2 dragons that game, like right under our noses. So, but then I think we're gonna kill them after. Sorry, I'm trying to remember the details of the game. But anyway,
there were definitely trades all throughout, especially in the mid game. Yeah,
there definitely trades all throughout the game, and we definitely favored towers more over, let's say, dragon, because Bulky did get those dragons. But eventually, we just started winning the fights, playing it well. And Diana was really the only thing that was scary. Because she could kill Punch like free. And then everything else was like whatever.
Do you think that the champions that a lot of you tend to play sort of play into that, how you're saying that you tend to focus on objectives, and especially in that game it was very objective heavy? Do you think that playing, especially with Vladimir playing almost exclusively tanky support jungles, does that kind of make you focus less on kills and more on objectives in general?
not for me. All the characters I play are very high kill because I'm an assassin at heart. I only just recently picked up Rumble, and it just so happens that the tanky, like building him tanky, is just what you need, just what you have to do. He has to stay in there. He's all short range basically, except for his ult. Maybe his E. But yeah, he's basically to do any real damage. He has to be in there, and the tanky item just fit him perfectly because he has such high base, and then he can just stay in there and do tons of damage. So that's. He was like an acquired taste. Same with Shen. Like I was like, man, these guys don't do any damage, that's why I wouldn't play them. But I realized they actually do damage, and I could take damage. Which, as fun as that is, I still would rather play Zed, of course. But it always gets banned. So.
That's a compliment, though.
It is I believe it is. I believe it's a compliment. They're afraid of it. But I say personally my style, it has changed up a bit. I do play more like team-oriented, less more AOE-oriented kind of characters for sure, just to suit the team need. But I don't play as much like objective-based characters, maybe except for Shen. Yeah, I can split push and whatnot. Everything else is kind of, I just try to farm and then I'll outshine in team fights with Rumble's ult. Said I'm just killing people. Jace, I'm poking. And at least I'm also poking as well. So I believe I have at the moment, a relatively decent variety of characters to suit whatever playstyle we feel is best for the game.
Great. Well, thank you very much for the interview and for the very exciting game. And good luck in your final LCS match tomorrow.
Thank you, Katana.